In this video, I'm going to cover how to get the screen to shake using visual scripting and Cinemachine. You can see it right here. I don't know if you can see that subtle screen shake. It doesn't happen very much. Screen shake is something that you want to be careful of because you can overdo it really easily. Now, Cinemachine does have built-in impulse listeners and impulse sources. However, those only work for box colliders. I couldn't get it to work with a mesh or convex collider, and a car is not a box collider, so we're going to call that with visual scripting right now. What's up, guys? My name is Justice. I'm an independent game developer, and here I am working on my racing game. So you can see I've added Cinemachine to my follow camera here, and if you scroll down in the inspector, you can see the Cinemachine brain, the Cinemachine virtual camera, and all the settings that we covered in the last video. However, with the screen shake, we're going to add some noise. So a noise used to be blank or set to none, but you do want to add a basic multi-channel purlin with, don't collapse it. There we go. With an amplitude gain of 0 and a frequency gain of 2 or whatever you're comfortable with adding. The reason we want to add this amplitude gain to 0, so that way it doesn't shake until we call it, and then we just set the amplitude gain to something else other than 0. The noise profile I like is 6D shake. You can use any one of the pre-mades, or you can even make your own if you want to. Just go anywhere in the inspector and right click and go create new, down to Cinemachine, and you can make your own noise setting if you want to. I'm not doing that. I'm just letting the 6D camera shake. This is the basic setup right here for camera shake. That's all you have to do. And there's a few very easy units we can add in visual scripting to make this happen. It starts in the car or the game object. For me, that's the collider. Now you could do this in any game object you want. In the car game object, we have this on collision enter graph already made, right? Oh, I don't need this dot product. I took that out. Using this on collision enter event, we're already comparing tag to the road, and if that's false, we're going in to play a sound, right? This is the same flow graph that I used for that. But instead of just playing a sound, we're gonna add this custom trigger event right here. It's on the follow camera right now, and I just called it camera shake. So what we wanna do is get the impulse, and we're gonna get its X value as a vector 3. We're gonna divide that by 100, and then plug that into the argument 0. Now here's the setup of the custom event. It's in the camera shake, okay? Or it's in the follow camera. So in the follow camera, I'll open this up in full screen. This is all it takes to apply the camera shake right here. What is that? 6 units and then we're done? Real simple. Before we do this though, you do have to add Cinemachine to visual scripting. So if you're using Bolt prior to Unity 2021, you've got to go into Tools and Bolt and go into Unit Options Wizard. And then from here, scroll all the way down to the bottom, click this plus button and add Cinemachine right there. And then you go next, and it wants to do type options. You also want to add lens settings at the bottom here. Generate those units, and then once that's done, go back to Tools and go to Bolt, and then go down to Update Unit Options. That will give you full access to all of the Cinemachine, basically the Cinemachine namespace and visual scripting. Once that's done, you can use this Get Cinemachine component for noise. And now since this flow graph is attached to the follow camera, it's just going to grab from itself, right, off this unit. So we do want to make a custom unit. To do that, you just right click and you go to add unit and just go to custom, not customer, just custom. And then you want to create that custom event. Now I've assigned it 1 argument. You could assign it as many arguments as you want. This will pull in from whatever arguments you allow when you call it from the whatever function you're calling it from. Okay, so I'm just going to do 1 custom argument, and that's going to grab the impulse. The idea is that the stronger the impulse or the faster we're going, the more shake we apply. It's not perfect, but it's where I'm at. We're going to take that argument 0, which is that the X value from the vector 3 on impulse, and we're going to multiply it by 0.02, and then we're going to add a modulo so it never gets higher than 3. If it gets higher than that, it looks very silly. And like I said, you can really overdo camera shake if you're not careful. And then all we want to do is we want to set the Cinemachine basic multi-channel purlin to this value. That's all we're doing is we're saying, okay, we're going to set the amplitude gain to something other than 0. It's currently 0 right now, so it might be kind of confusing to see this in 2 places. But the Cinemachine, the amplitude is 0. That's what we're changing right here. And then what I want to do is take off that, we're going to take a delay of ½ a second. After a ½ second delay, we're going to set the amplitude back to 0. That's all we're doing for this screen shake. Now, the beauty of this, and why I like this almost more than the built-in camera shake calling option off impulse, is because I can apply this to any game object without collision. So you could do this for a spell, for a gunshot, a grenade, a bomb, a fireball, whatever happens, an earthquake. You could shake the camera to a certain degree that you wanted to shake the camera based on any event trigger. And you could even use the same event. So you could actually just use this custom argument that you have and just change the argument 0 to a higher value or even a static value. You could even plug this directly into the amplitude gain if you wanted to set yours up that way. So whenever you called it, so again, now that we understand this, we'll go back to where we're calling this from, and that's in the car collision. For me, I'm doing the impulse. But you could take your argument 0, that's what it is down here. That argument 0 is going to be whatever the amplitude is. So you could just plug in just a straight up integer, a float, whatever you wanted to plug in right there. This has got to be the easiest way to call the camera shake without using that impulse. And again, that impulse control only works if it's a box collider. You have to add the impulse source to whatever you want to cause the shake. So you have to add it to every collider on each of the AI cars. In this case, you would. So just as an example, the Cinemachine collision impulse source, an active collider or 2D component is required in order to detect collisions and generate impulse events. This only worked if it was specifically a box collider, at least for me. I'm not sure if I was missing something or didn't have something in place properly, but the moment I changed it to a box collider, it started working, and that just wasn't going to work. Cars are not box colliders. I've got mesh colliders and everything, so it works out better in terms of gameplay. And that sums up this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned because next week I'm going to go over how to make a cutscene using Cinemachine built into your level, just like what you see here.